All right. Okay. And we are live. Welcome in. Welcome. Hi. Hello. All right. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Welcome. 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 Welcome to the PAWCAST. The PAWCAST is a brand new series on the channel presented to you by me, the host, Oborrok, and many times we will have on my co-host, King Me Eli, as well. Now, if you're wondering what the PAWCAST is, it is a podcast that will be live streamed here on YouTube every Friday at 1:30 p.m. PDT. Now, you might be thinking, why is a podcast live streamed, right? Because naturally, when you think of a podcast, it's a pre-recorded episode, right? You can go back, you can watch it, it's a video on demand. Why live? Well, as I explained in our first episode, I love the live experience. I absolutely love the live experience. You guys know this. To anybody that knows me and knows of the community, the Galactic Wolfpack, right? That's what the community is known as. You guys know that I am a streamer. I love streaming, right? I love being with the community. So I was like, hey, if I'm going to make a podcast, I could do pre-recorded, right? Or we could do live episodes. And since I love having the community right there with me in the moment when things are happening, when we're gaming or what have you, I said, why not do the exact same thing with a podcast, right? So that is why the PAWCAST is live streamed, because I love the thought of having you guys with me in the moment when it is happening. Okay, so that's why it is live streamed. But apart from it being live streamed, okay, if you guys are unable to catch the live experience, that is perfectly okay, because we do have the VODs up. So we do have the video on demand right after the live stream, right after the stream does end. The entire stream will be up as a VOD, so you can go back and you can watch it. Also, we do have the very, very exciting news. We do have the PAWCAST on Spotify. That's right. That's right. Can we get some clappers in the chat, man? We do have the PAWCAST on Spotify now. So you guys can listen along with us, man. We do have our first episode on Spotify. And after today's podcast, we will have it up on Spotify as well. So the second episode will be up there as well. And I will provide a link so anybody watching the live stream, part of the live experience, is able to go over there and check that out. Also, if you guys are a part of the Gilded server, we do have that in there also, and on various different socials. Now, so welcome in once again. My name is Oborrok. I am known as the White Wolf. I will be your host today. Like I said, there is going to be some times that we are with my co-host, King Me Eli, but today it is just me. There also will be many other times that we have guest stars, okay? So we will have on many different friends, homies, best friends, a bunch of different people that we know, and we will be talking about various different topics. So with that being said, what is today's topic? Today's topic for week 2's episode 2, we have growing up in gaming. Me personally, growing up in gaming. How did I grow up in gaming? What were the most influential games that I played? What were the most fun or the most rage-inducing, tilting games that I played? What was the earliest memory I had of gaming? Why did I begin gaming? All of these wonderful questions that actually many members of the Wolfpack, thank you guys very much, provided me with. So thank you guys very much for all of these questions. I do massively appreciate that. I believe we have I think we got like 12 questions. We have about 12 questions written down, so thank you guys very much for those. But also a part of the live experience, and I believe you can do this on Spotify too. You can do, I believe there's an AMA on Spotify, so once the episode is up on Spotify, If there are any questions that you guys do have, you should be able to leave those in the AMA section on Spotify. But also, if there's any questions that I have written down here that you guys would like to know more about, or if there is a question that was not answered or even asked, right, that you guys would like to know more about as well, you guys are more than welcome to let me know in the live chat as well if you guys have specific questions. So again, today's theme is growing up in gaming. What was my childhood into now like with gaming? How has gaming shaped my life, and what were, like I said, the most influential games and gaming experiences? So that is what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm very freaking excited. Welcome in. How we doing, Rise? What's going on, Rise? Welcome from the live experience. Welcome, Rise. Welcome, Eternal, and welcome, Koalo. My friends, welcome. Hello, how you doing? It's good to see you guys. It is very, very good to see you guys. I appreciate you for hopping in here, man. Thank you for joining us on the live experience. Now, really quickly, if you guys haven't already done so, please like the podcast. It does let me know that you guys are liking the episodes, and it will definitely, we will definitely do more episodes in the future. So if you guys do like the podcast, please drop it a like on YouTube, heart it on Spotify, drop us a follow on Spotify as well, man. And yeah, so let's get into this, man. Let's get into this. So first of all, how you guys doing? How you guys doing, man? Hopefully everybody's having a good day. If you guys are listening to this once it is a VOD, if you guys are watching this once it is a VOD, or if you guys are listening to this on Spotify, how you doing? Hello, welcome. It's good to see you. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to hop in here and listen or watch. I do appreciate you. Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully you slept well. Happy Friday, by the way. When you are going back and watching this, it might not be Friday, but whichever day it is, hopefully you're having a good day. Everyone for the live experience that's watching this right now, happy Friday. Hopefully you guys are having a good Friday again. Hopefully you guys slept well. Do you guys got any plans for the weekend? You guys got any plans for the weekend? You guys doing anything fun? You guys got anything you guys are doing over the weekend, chilling, vibing? Now, really quickly, before we hop into this, do we have any audio issues? Are there any audio issues? Are there any visual issues? Hopefully everything is good. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. The music is good. The music's supposed to be kind of faint, not too loud, nothing like that. Just kind of in the background, little background noise. We don't have the white noise, which is good, okay, which is very good. I do appreciate you guys for letting me know about that on the last episode, but I do kind of like having, the little ambience in the back, you know what I mean? Little nice little beat in the background. Alrighty, so let's see here. But again, yes, if you guys are liking the podcast, if you guys liked the first episode, if you guys are excited for today's episode and the future episodes as well, please drop a like on the podcast on YouTube, drop a heart on Spotify. Would massively appreciate that. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, the streaming, right? So if you guys are wondering, because I know, you when there's an artist that drops a new song or something like that, right? They say, go stream it up, right? So when I say streaming, what am I talking about? If you guys don't know me, if you guys don't know my community, we are live streaming. So right now on YouTube, we're live streaming. You guys can see me on YouTube. Hello. But we also do this 3 days a week on Kick. Kick is a new streaming platform. So we do that 3 days a week, every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, 1:30 p.m. PDT. We play a variety of games. We play The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Diablo 4. That's on hold for just a little bit because it actually is crashing my PC, so I need to get that figured out. But Diablo 4, Fortnite, we play a bunch of different stuff. We hang out, we vibe, we chill. The community, is more than welcome to hop in there and hang out and enjoy the vibes. And it's always nice, man. It's always nice. It's always a good time. So that is, when I say streaming, that's what I'm talking about. And if you guys have not been a part of that experience and you guys would like to be a part of that experience, you guys can check out the links to the other socials and the Kick streaming in the description down below. If you guys do want to check that out, man, you're more than welcome. We appreciate you. We love you. And we thank you very much for taking time out of your day to hop in and join us. Thank you. All righty. All right now. So now again, for the PAWCAST schedule, this will be every single Friday. This will be every single live streamed every single Friday on YouTube, 1:30 p.m. PDT. but also when we get it over to Spotify, okay, because this is currently not on Spotify at this exact moment, but I am shooting for 1 day to 2 days after the live stream. Once it is live on YouTube, I'm shooting to have it on Spotify just a day, if not 2 days later. Okay, so that way we can get it up on Spotify pretty quickly. That is the goal, to have it up there pretty soon after it does actually go live. Alrighty. Okay. So also, you guys may be wondering, what are some of the topics we're going to talk about when it comes to the podcast? In the first episode, we talked about when we brought on our first guest, we talked with Patty Healthy Fitness, my mom. And speaking of Mama Wolf, there she is. Hello. Welcome in. Absolute freaking poggers. Welcome in. Welcome. What's going on, Mama Wolf? Now, we had on our first guest, Patty Healthy Fitness, also known as Mama Wolf. That's my mom. And we talked about her fitness journey. Her health and wellness, her getting into the world of content creation. We talked about all that kind of stuff, right? Also, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Rise. Thank you for letting me know everything is good. Appreciate that. Thank you, brother. All right. But we talked about Mama Wolf's health and wellness. We talked about, her fitness journey, her time in the gym, what she's done over the years, how she's changed to different things. We talked about all of that. So that is a topic that we will talk about more. There are different times we will bring on Mama Wolf as well, again, to talk about things in a different light, right? In a larger, greater light, on a larger scale, more in depth. That is the goal of the podcast. We want to take very passionate topics that we have, and we want to talk about them in a larger light. We want to talk about them in a greater light and on a larger scale, more in depth. So that is what the podcast goal is, so that we can talk about things that we're very passionate about, but we can talk about them, even more in depth, right? So there will be more opportunities where we bring in Mama Wolf, Patty Healthy Fitness, and we talk to her about different things within the world of fitness, within the world of her own content creation, within the world of her inspiring other people to take their health seriously and get into it and really, make their life a priority, right? We're never guaranteed, another day. So we really have to take care of ourselves. We really got to take care of ourselves, man. So I will say the inspiration that Mama Wolf has given to other people as well has inspired me to really. I've been pretty active. I've been pretty fit for my life for the most part. But seeing my mom, go on 3-mile walks every day, be drinking, like 64 or more ounces of water every single day, to see her doing workouts in the living room and to see her really taking her fitness journey and making it lifelong, it's inspired me as well to try and clean up how I eat and how often I work out and do things like that, so it is very, very inspiring. But along with this, like today, with growing up in gaming being the topic, we will talk about gaming in different areas. We'll talk about favorite games. We'll talk about all kinds of different stuff, right? There will be many different like subdivisions, and there'll be different areas that we talk about in a different light, right? So today again is growing up in gaming. So we're going to talk about my personal experience, but we'll go more in depth and we'll talk about different areas as well. We will also talk about content creation. There's going to be a lot of episodes on that as well. We'll talk about content creation. We'll have different themes. We'll have, what I personally have learned, what my personal experience has been like, misconceptions of content creation, just a bunch of different things, right? So there will be many episodes of content creation. We'll have on different guests as well. We have some very interesting and awesome opportunities for some future guests as well. So I'm very, very excited about that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Suki, thank you for joining us as well. Welcome. Hello. How you doing, brother? Very nice to have you here. Thank you, Mama Wolf. Thank you, Suki. Thank you, Rise. Thank you, Koalo, and thank you, Eternal. Anybody else that may be lurking in the live stream as well, welcome. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. Now, so growing up in gaming, how did I grow up in gaming? Right? How did I grow up in gaming? So we have about 12 questions here, and the first one is from my dear friend and actually my birthday twin. We share the same birthday, Karuta. So my homie Karuta said, "Why did you start gaming?" Okay, that's we got to go way back. We got to go way back for that, man. Why did I start gaming? What is my earliest memory of gaming? How did it all begin? Right. Well, I would say that was actually from my dad. Okay, my dad was an avid gamer. Okay, my dad had arcade machines. Okay, like I'm talking the big, like 8 foot tall. Like my dad had the huge arcade machines. Okay, I don't really remember what games they were. I think one of them was actually Johnny Quest, not Johnny Test, Johnny Quest. But if I'm remembering correctly, one of them was Johnny Quest. But he had, I think at one point in time, he had about 4 or 5, and about 4 or 5 actual full-scale arcade machines. Those things were massive, 7, 8 feet. Space Ace, yes, Space Ace, Mama Wolf. But yes, so he had massive arcade machines, and that was right around the time that I kind of first started to understand like a joystick and buttons, a screen that you saw the game displayed on, right? That was kind of the first iteration of my knowledge in gaming, right? My first memories. Now, with these arcade machines, my dad also had a lot of controllers. Like I'm talking, we had a basket by our TV, okay? And this basket had probably 12 controllers. There were so many controllers, man. And it ranged from every different type of every different type of controller you could think of, right? There were so many different kinds of controllers, all with different, plug-in ports and everything, right? And one of them I remember was actually a GameCube. One of them was actually a GameCube controller because we had a GameCube. My dad had a GameCube. I don't remember very much. I do not remember very much from the GameCube and all of that. I do know that we had one, and I played it for some duration of time, but I don't remember too much because it was very early on. I think right around this time I was maybe 4. I might have been about 4 years old, something like that. So I don't remember too much, but I do remember the distinct look of the GameCube controller and the fact that we did have a GameCube at one point in time. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah, my dad had a lot of controllers and he had a GameCube. He had a lot of different stuff. So we did also have some of my actual memories of older games that I played. First games that I played was Galaga. If you guys know anything about Galaga, you fly a spaceship through space and you're trying to avoid debris and you're, shooting lasers at all kinds of different stuff, right? So one of my first memories of gaming was Galaga and playing that with my dad and seeing him play Galaga as well. But I also remember Centipede. I remember Centipede, man. Centipede was a lot of fun. You basically started the game as a centipede, right? And you would have to eat this little orb. And as you would eat this orb, okay, you would slightly grow a little bit, right? The centipede would get a little bit larger, okay? But you had a confined space that you were in, and you were constantly moving, right? You were constantly moving. So the goal of the game was to basically get as large as possible without hitting yourself, right? Because if you hit yourself, if you bumped into your own tail, body, right, you would die. Like that would be it. That'd be the end of the level, and you're done. You'd have to try again, right, from scratch. So I remember Galaga and I remember Centipede. Those are the 2 games that I really remember from back then. From like my very, very first memories of gaming was Galaga and Centipede. I remember that my dad had a bunch of different controllers, and we had a GameCube. So those are that's the earliest memory. But moving on from there, we also had a family computer, okay? We had a family computer, and my dad introduced me to flash games and browser games. If you guys know what those are, basically you go to a website and, depending on the website, there's different games that you can play, right? You play them in a small little window, okay? It's not like the full screen. At least I don't remember them being the full screen, but you played them in a little window. They were a little browser game, right? We played the likes of Moonlander. There was a little Moonlander game where you basically were we were a little a moon car, right? That you would basically just move around, and you would do a whole bunch of different flips and stunts. You would try to rescue the astronauts, and you would try not to crash, right? You would try not to crash. So I remember that. I also remember the Super Mario Bros. My dad, I remember it in this exact, pacing. I don't know. I remember it in this exact order. Okay. I remember it in this exact order. I don't know if this is actually how it happened, or I don't know, but this is how I remember meeting the world of the Mario Bros. Right. So basically, I knew that my dad had a Facebook. My dad had a Facebook account, and he was on his Facebook one day, and he introduced me to the Super Mario Bros. The way he did this was he was on Facebook, and then he clicked on this thing. I remember him clicking on this thing, and then I look away for 2 seconds. Next thing I know, we're on the Super Mario Bros. And it was integrated into Facebook or whatever he clicked. And the next thing you know, we're playing the Super Mario Bros. And we're trying to go as far as we can within the game, right? So I remember playing the Super Mario Bros. On some form of browser flash game through Facebook, something like that, right? I remember that. I remember playing that with my dad. I remember playing the Moonlander game as well. You know, like you had to try to rescue the astronauts. You would do a whole bunch of different flips and stunts. But also there was a game. So I want to say I played this game. I discovered this game because of my cousin. I saw him playing it one day, and my older cousin, not really my cousin, but he was kind of like a distant cousin, was playing this on my uncle's computer. And that intrigued me and my closer cousin. We were like, yo, what is this? Right? So that game was called Adventure Quest. And Adventure Quest was my first ever experience into any kind of ARPG, MMORPG is my first ever experience with that, right? It was, you know, the side clicking, fighting monsters, getting loot, putting on different armor. It was called Adventure Quest, and I sunk probably 1,000 hours into that game, until a point where my mom literally had to tell me to stop playing it because I got addicted to it. It was so fun that I couldn't not play it. And I actually played it so much that I didn't want to do anything else. Like, the game was that, like, it had a grip on me, man. Like, that game was so fun. I had never experienced a game like that before. So I played a lot of Adventure Quest until I couldn't anymore, right? But also along with that is I was introduced to plug and play games. Okay, if you guys know what plug and play games are, you basically have a joystick, right? You got a joystick, you got a button on the top, maybe, right? You got some buttons on the side, and you're basically moving the joystick around. In the joystick, you also have the cords, and the cords plug straight into your TV. Okay, so the game is built into the joystick. Everything is right there. Entire game, joystick, boom, just like that, right? Well, I had a Spider-Man plug and play game, little console thing, right? And this was the first time I was able to kind of like sit in front of the TV for a really long time, because like when we had the GameCube or anything like that, I don't really remember it all that often. Being able to play, it was very short little moments that I was able to play. It wasn't that long, and then, you know, we had the Flash games that I was able to play for a long time until I wasn't anymore on the computer. But the plug and play was the first time that I got to sit there and just look at the TV and play what was on the TV for as long as I could remember. Right now, this Spider-Man game was insane. This Spider-Man game was absolutely insane. It was a kind of side scroller Spider-Man adventure where you played as Spider-Man, and you would basically take on his deadliest foes, Venom, I'm trying to remember if Electro was in it as well. I can't exactly remember at this moment, but I think they had Electro. They had a whole bunch of different stuff, right? They had a whole bunch of different enemies and villains in the game, and you would play different game modes, and you would try to fight them. You would try to get the highest score, and I would sit there day after day, and I would play this so much. Now, my mom actually played this, and there was a specific game mode where you would go into the sewers and you would try to find the lizard, right? If you guys know that villain from Spider-Man, the lizard, okay? My mom played this game mode where it took place in the sewers and you had to find the lizard, and you would just basically go from like all these different tunnels constantly, right? You'd go all these different tunnels, you'd try to find him, and he would pop up out of nowhere, and you had to web him up. You had to web him up, right? You had to web him, and then he would go away, okay? Now, I could not grasp how to play this game, okay? I could not, like, every time he popped up, I wouldn't web him enough, and then I would get totally slapped on, right? But my mom was really freaking good at this, okay? My mom, every time she played this, she got like the highest score. It was crazy. It was freaking crazy. Miss Nikki, thank you for lurking. We appreciate you. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. But so my mom would play this. She would play this, and she got crazy high scores. And I was like, I don't know how you do it, right? I don't know how in the world my mom does it. This is crazy, right? I don't know how she does it. Josie, thank you for joining us as well. Welcome. I was like, Helcom? I don't know. I was trying to say hello and welcome at the same time. It came out Helcom. I don't know. Hello and welcome. Hi, Josie. How you doing? It's good to see you. Welcome. How you doing, love? Alrighty. So basically, we played this plug and play. We played it for as long as I could possibly remember. And I just remember loving this game so much. Spider-Man, you're going to notice a trend here. Spider-Man has always been my favorite hero. Okay, Spider-Man has always been my favorite Marvel hero. He's been my favorite Marvel character. He's been one of my favorite characters of fiction ever, superhero or not, just fiction in general. I have always loved Spider-Man. I've always just loved the story of Spider-Man and how he got his powers, and you know, the fact that he was good, and the fact that he always held back, and he always tried to do the right thing. You know what I mean? I've always loved Spider-Man. I do actually. For my 4th birthday, I'm pretty sure that it was my 4th birthday. You might. I don't know if I'm thinking about something else. Was this when we paid one of the dudes from our church to dress up as Spider-Man and come to my birthday? Was that my 4th birthday, or was that something else? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that was the one? Okay. So we had somebody from our church at the time dress as Spider-Man for my 4th birthday. He had the full suit. Like, he had the full Raimi suit. It looked awesome. Okay. Yes, it had the little Velcro in the back. Okay. It did have that, but it looked cool. It looked really cool. But he dressed up as Spider-Man, and he came through, and he was like, yo, what's up? He was doing all this poses. He got on my my swing set. I had a swing set. I had a whole like playground in my backyard, and he went on there, and he's doing all kinds of Spider-Man poses, sliding down the slide, doing, I don't know, he's doing like pull-ups on the monkey bars. It was awesome. Okay, I was 4 years old. I was like, oh my god, it's Spider-Man. But yeah. So I have always loved Spider-Man. From like the earliest memory I have always loved Spider-Man. He's always been my favorite character. So you're gonna notice a trend going forward, okay? But basically, we played this plug and play game, and I loved it so much. I tried to like master every single level that I could. I loved this game so much. Now, I think this might have been a year later, 2 years later, something like this. So around this time, what I'm talking about answering this question, this is anywhere between being about 4.5 to about 8. Okay, so this question takes place over the course of about 3.5 years. Okay, this is the first question that takes place about over about 3.5, 4 years. Okay, so I was roughly 4.5 to about 8 during this time, right, throughout this process. Now, going from, you know, the GameCube and playing that, remembering that, knowing the arcade machines that my dad had, going to the browser games, and then the plug and play, right? I was about 4.5 to 8 throughout this time. uh, earliest memory to, but then, so I'm thinking right around this time, I might have been about seven and a half, maybe 8. We had actually gone and we got a new plug and play system. Okay. Where you would, okay. So I've always loved Spider-Man. I said this, you guys know this. There's a trend going forward. We got like the haptic boot suit from Ready Player One. Okay, like I'm talking the fully decked out chest plate, gauntlets on the arms, everything. Okay, the full thing. And this game was a Spider-Man game where you would have to climb the sides of buildings. You would literally have to like this was like early on, like way before Xbox Connect and Wii, and like way before any of that. Okay, but this was like a plug and play system. Okay, this was like a plug and play system that you had the chest plate on, you had the gauntlets, and you had to climb the side of a building. You had to try to web up what was happening over there. You had to try to like dodge because debris was falling, right? It was so fun. And if you got hit, right, you had a health bar, okay? But if you got hit, the chest plate would vibrate, okay? The chest plate would vibrate. At this time, I'm like 100 pounds less than I am now. So when I would get hit with like a barrel or something that was falling, I'm like, oh, right? Because let me tell you what, that vibration was crazy, alrighty? But you had like the full chest plate, it would vibrate if you got hit. You had the full gauntlets, and I'm talking about like these things came like almost all the way down like my forearm, like full gauntlets, okay? And it had the little tap press thing in the middle of your palm where you shoot the webs. Had the full thing, okay? It was freaking awesome. But I remember playing this for a long time as well. Always loved Spider-Man. Anytime I played a Spider-Man game, I loved it. It was so fun. That was probably my earliest memory of gaming. To answer that question, that was probably the earliest memory. Starting from knowing my dad to be an avid gamer, having him teach me about games, and then going from there. That was basically before any console other than the GameCube. That was pretty much my earliest memory. So to answer that question, that was that. But yeah. So now, does anybody have any questions as well? If anybody has any questions live, you guys are more than welcome to ask them. Again, if there's any questions that are not asked or answered as well during the live stream, you guys can, if you are coming back and you're watching the VOD, you can post them in the comment section. I'll go back and I'll answer them. Or if you guys are listening to this on Spotify, you can type in the AMA section and you can ask any questions on there as well if you have any questions. But so if there are no questions at this exact moment, I'll move on to the second question. Let me get some water real quick. Okay. No questions? All right. Let's move on to the second question here. So the second question is from my good buddy, Stidge, as we know him, the Stygian, the Stygian. So Stidge asks, what was the first game that truly captured your interest and made you fall in love with gaming? My answer to that would be Skylanders. If you guys know Skylanders, it was a little bit of an add-on at first to Spyro, the original Spyro's Adventure. I never played the original Spyro, but Spyro was in the game. Okay. Now this was taking place after that, but it still had Spyro, so it was kind of a slight continuation of that story, a little bit different, right? But Skylanders was really unique because being young, right, being a kid, you like toys. You like having toys, right? And gaming was really cool, right? Gaming has always been really cool. So I'm pretty sure it was Activision. It might have been I can't remember who it was, who was publishing this, but they put the two together. So they had the game, but then they also had something called a portal. They had a portal system that you would plug into your, whichever console you had. You'd plug this in and it would light up, okay? And you would take a character. You had an actual physical character that you would put on the portal, Okay. Now you're in the game, you're hanging out, whatever, right? And you want to change your character. So you take the character off the portal, right? You're playing this character. They're on the portal, all right? But then when you go to take them off, the game pauses and it goes to a portal like whirring screen. Like you see a little portal on the screen. And then it's going to tell you to put another character on there or put the same character back. Okay. So you could put on, if you had another character, you could put on another character. You could do all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool stuff. Now, the reason this game was so cool was because it had a really great story. It had great side quests. It was really fun to play. But also, there were so many different characters you could collect. Okay. At one point in time, across all the games, okay, this is just the first game, but across all the games, I had probably about 80 characters, all right? 80 physical toys, like individual toys that I could put on the portal. And like, I had so many of these things. I absolutely freaking loved this game, okay? I thought it was so freaking cool. I had beat the story, I don't know, 10 times. I had done every side quest. I loved this game so much. I had maxed out every single character that I had. I can't remember if they had prestiges as well, or if you could do like a character reset. I don't remember, but I do remember leveling up as many characters as I could. Like, I played that game so much. Because it was so unique. I had never seen anything like that before, right? I had the plug and plays. I had, all this different stuff, but I had never had a physical character, a figurine that I could put onto a portal and then 2 seconds later see them in the game that I'm looking at on the TV, right? I'd never seen that before. It was so unique. It was so cool. So the moment I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so amazing, right? So I had played this game as forever, maxed out every character. Well, then the next game came out. And the next game was called Giants. So they introduced these really tall characters. Now, you guys know microtransactions today. We say we don't want microtransactions in games, right? Microtransactions kind of ruin games or whatever you say about microtransactions. Skylanders was the ultimate microtransaction because they had locked areas you could not get into unless you go to Toys R Us and you go get yourself, or Target or whatever, unless you go get yourself the character that is fit with that element that could open that door, or that giant that could push that boulder, or like, it was the ultimate microtransaction. Okay. I didn't care. I thought it was freaking awesome, right? I did my chores and I was like, Mama, I did the dishes and I took out the trash and I swept and I mopped. Can I go get a new toy? Like, I didn't care. I was like, oh my God. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, this is so cool. So, but you had all these different figures and you had a lot of different elements. They all had an element, okay? It was really freaking cool. All the characters had different designs and they all had different abilities, but they all had a different base as well. There was a water base for the water characters. There was a skull base for the dark elemental characters, or however it was. They had like, plants on the bottom for the life characters. They had, like fire for the fire characters, or they had like a bunch of gears for the technical characters. It was really cool. They all had these different bases, and then the actual code that was read by the portal to then put the character into the game, they were all different colors. They were red or blue or green or all kinds of different cool stuff. So it was like the dream game. Okay, growing up, that was like the dream game. It was so cool. You had all these collectible figures that you could, put on, at one point in time, I was going to say you could put on a wall or a shelf or something like that, but I actually had a door mount. I had an actual door mount, okay? You slung it over one side. You slung it over one side of the door and you closed it, right? And then on the other side, you had all these different pockets for the characters, right? All these different pockets. So you would pull the little tab and you'd stick the character in there. And then on your wall, you had an awesome just wall or door. On your door, you would have an entire door filled with these characters that you could, pull out of the little strap, and then you could go put on the portal whenever you were ready to play the game again, right? But so basically you went from the normal Skylanders to Skylanders Giants. They introduced these new characters. They were big characters, and you could only get through certain areas or get to certain side quests or collectibles or whatever it was if you had a giant. and you needed a giant of that specific element to get through. So I had a bunch of giants as well on top of the normal characters and the new characters that they brought with the Giants game, because not all of them were giants. They did bring some new characters as well with the Giants, right? So I played that like crazy. Loved that. It was so fun. Beat the game, I don't know, X amount of times. But then came Skylanders Swap Force. So Skylanders Swap Force was really interesting. Skylanders Swap Force was really interesting because they said, how do we take this to the next level? How are we going to take this to the next level? So they took the fact that they had a game that was already really good. The game was really good. The game was really fun. And it had every kid's attention, right? Like, it had every kid's attention. It was so fun. Okay. But they said, what can we do? So we got the normal characters and you put them on the portal and they go into the game. Okay, cool. And then you got the giants, you got the big characters and they got new abilities and all this kind of stuff. But how can we change it? How can we make it even cooler? So then they added Swap Force. Swap Force was, in the torso. Okay. At the torso, there was magnets. There's magnets on the bottom of the torso and the top of the legs. Okay. So you could pull off the top of, from the character, and you go put it on another character. All right. On the bottom of another character. So you could literally take different elements. If you needed a specific element to get into a game, right? To get into an area, to get into, whatever it was, you could, okay, well, I don't have a wind character, but I have or what you call it? I don't have a what you call it? I don't have a fire and wind character. Okay, well, but I do have a fire character. So you'd go to the store, you'd go get a wind character or something like that, right? And you'd pop off the top, put it on there, boom. Now you have a fire and a wind character, or a fire and a water character, right? And yes, Mama Wolf, yes, they did have awesome names. They did, yeah. In Swap Force, one of the really cool ones was Swashbuckler. He was a pirate octopus, Swashbuckler. In the first game, one of my favorite characters was, I'm trying to remember his name now. Oh man, I'm trying to remember his name. I think his name was Gill Guy. I think his name was Gill Guy. He was a fish dude. He was a fish character. I'm pretty sure his name was Gill Guy. But then also in Giants, I'm trying to remember. Oh God, what was the Giants' name? Oh God, what was the Giants' name? I can't remember. Like Crusher or something like that. It was a big guy, big golem guy, and he had a giant hammer. I think his name was Crusher or Golem or something like that. But they did have really cool names, and they actually implemented the ability for you to change the names as well. So I was very imaginative. And at this time, I was drawing a lot as well. And I was taking inspiration from characters that I knew in TV shows or games or Skylanders, and I was creating my own characters and coming up with names for them. So then when I went back and I played Skylanders, I also would change some of the names, and I would come up with cool names on my own for these characters as well, right? But so it was really fun. So the Swap Force was really cool. They had the magnets on the on the bottom of the torso and the top of the legs, and you could swap them out. So if you needed a darkness character and a fire character, you could put them together and then boom, right? Or if you needed water and a fire character, boom, you could put them together. If you needed life and a water character, you could put them together. And you could get into these different areas. You could do side quests. You could get collectibles. You could do all kinds of really cool stuff by swapping the characters, right? By swapping the character. It was really cool because you had the characters already looked really cool, but then you could swap them and you could take the top and make this character look cooler or make this character look cooler. And it was awesome. It was freaking awesome. But then they said, how can we make this even better? So I played the game for 4 games. Okay. I didn't play Imaginators, I believe it was called. Skylanders Imaginators. I didn't play that. And apparently there's something about it potentially coming back now. Apparently coming back now, and there's going to be a 6th game or something like that. I didn't play the 5th one. I don't know anything about the 6th, but I played up until the 4th game. Okay, I played up until the 4th game, and Skylanders Trap Team was the name. Okay, so Trap Team was the name of this, and basically, so they said, okay, so we had the normal characters. Normal characters are cool. Then we brought in giants. You need the giants to get to different places. Okay, cool. How do we make that better? Then they came out with Swap Force. You need to swap the characters to get into different areas. Okay, how can we make this cooler? So what they did is they came up with these little, kind of like this, kind of like my little wolf here, my little acrylic wolf. They came out with these little traps. Okay, they came out with these little traps that they had a new portal by the, I'm pretty sure they had a new portal every game, but they had a different design, a brand new, completely different design for the 4th game, because the 4th game had a slot where you could put the traps. Now the traps were basically, you would fight a boss, okay? You would go fight a boss. You would go fight a boss, and when they're in their down but not out state, okay, if you had the element of the trap, okay, if you had it was a life trap or a darkness trap or a fire trap, whatever, and that was the element of the boss, when you beat them, you could put the trap into the portal, and they'd be like, no, no, and they would fly into the trap, and then out of the speaker in the portal, they would, hey, this place is pretty cramped, or something like that. And it was so dope. It was so dope, because then you had that. Not only did you have all these different traps, but now you had all of these different bosses that you beat trapped. You had them, right? So amazing. All these new characters came out with the 4th game, and then they had traps. And so you had to go get all these different, traps. You had to go get all these different elements of traps. And you had to, if you didn't have the trap, you weren't able to get the boss. And then if you couldn't get the boss, you had to come back and play that level again to, get the character once you had the trap. It was really freaking cool. But there was one very specific trap that was very hard to get. Now, throughout this entire game, throughout the 1st game, the 2nd game, 3rd game, and the 4th game, I don't know if this is the same on the 5th game, but all the way up until the 4th game, they had the main boss, Chaos. Chaos was the main boss for all of these games. And they came out with something called the Chaos Trap for Trap Team. Now, the Chaos Trap would allow you to trap Chaos. And because you could trap the final boss, as you would imagine, it was really hard to get that trap. It was really, really hard to get that trap. People realized how valuable this trap was. So basically what they would do is they would go to Toys R Us or Target or wherever, this was sold, and they would basically buy all of them, because there was no restriction on it. It wasn't one chaos trap per person. You could go get as many as you want. So somebody could load up their cart with 30 chaos traps, and then they could go sell them on eBay for 5 times the price. They're literally like $5-6, right? But there were people that were selling them for $100, $200, because they know how bad these kids wanted them, right? Like, oh my God, Mom, I gotta get the chaos trap about the boss fight. Rah! Like, I gotta get the trap. They wanted the trap so bad. So a lot of people were basically taking these traps, and they would go sell them for, $100, even though it's a $5 trap. And they would clean out stores. You could not find them at all. Like, you could not find this chaos trap at all. By the way, Car Guy, welcome, man. What's going on? Welcome, brother. Thank you for joining us. You could not find this chaos trap anywhere. Well, I have known a buddy. I've known a buddy by the name of Matt for a very long time. He's from Australia. Really cool guy. Now, Matt is an avid gamer as well. Okay, Matt is an avid gamer. Has played a bunch of different games. Borderlands, loves Borderlands, right? But has played a whole bunch of different games. And one day I was talking to Matt, and Matt said, have you got, because he knew about Skylanders and knew that I loved Skylanders and stuff like that. And Matt said, did you get the Chaos Trap yet? And I was like, no, I can't get the Chaos Trap. All the stores are sold out and all this kind of stuff. And Matt said, okay, mate, I'm gonna go get it for you. And I was like, what? And Matt said, yeah, like, don't even worry about it. You're not even fussed. Like, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna go get it for you because we have some here. I was just at the store the other day and I saw them. Okay, I saw them, right? So he went to the store to go look for them, and they were all sold out. Okay, remind you, this guy is from Australia. They were all sold out. All of them were sold out. So him and his buddy, his roommate, went and they drove for an hour to a store that said that they had them. Okay, and I guess he put one on hold or something like that. And he drove an hour out of his way to go buy me a chaos trap at a store that said that they had them, because the store he was at was all out. Okay. And not only did he give me one chaos trap, but he got me 2 chaos traps. To this day, I cannot even put into words how much that means. The fact that somebody from Australia, a good friend of mine, okay, from a total other side of the planet, all right, was like, you want to know what? That's my friend. I'm going to do something dope because they're not able to get something here. I'm gonna help them out. You know, I'm gonna help them out. And literally went and got me 2 chaos traps and then sent them, and I got them, and I still to this day, words cannot even describe how thankful I am for my buddy Matt and the fact that he did that. Well, so I got an opportunity to pay it forward. I got an opportunity to pay it forward, and let me explain that story to you really quickly. So basically, when Trap Team came out, when the 4th game came out, there was a sweepstakes. There was a bag of Doritos. I'm pretty sure it was a bag of Doritos. It was a chip bag. I don't remember exactly if it was Doritos. I think it was, but it was a brand of chips. Okay, and they had a character named High Five, and High Five was a dragonfly. Okay, he was a life-based like forest creature dragonfly. Okay. Now, they had the sweepstakes, and if you basically, you bought enough of the bags, and then you scan the QR code or whatever it was, here's what it was. You would get a little code on the bottom of the bag, or is it inside the bag? It was inside the bag. You got a little code, and then you had to go to the website. And you had to see if that code was a winner. You know, because if that code was a winner, you would get a High Five character, right? They would ship you the character, because you could not get the character anywhere else. I don't know if this is still a thing, but at the time you could not get the character anywhere else. You had to go get the bag of chips, and you had to buy them and then open them up, and then you had to get the code on the inside, and then you had to register that on the website and see if that code was a winner. And if it wasn't a winner, then, you had to go get another bag of chips and do it again and again and again. Well, so I remember getting a bag of chips, okay? I remember getting a bag of chips and, typing in the code, and the code didn't win. And I was like, no! I was so sad. I was so sad, right? I was so sad. Well, so the code didn't win, and a couple days goes by or something like that. I'm eating one of the bags of chips, and I just thought to myself, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try the code again. I know it didn't work, but I'm gonna try the code again. So I tried the code again, okay? And the code didn't work. The code is, sorry, this is not a winning code. And I was like, man. So I reloaded the page. I reloaded the browser page, and I typed in the code again. And it said, this code is a winner. And I was like, wait, what? So I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if that code never was a winner. I don't know if it was a glitch for why it wasn't being read. But on the 3rd or 4th try, it finally worked. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get High Five. I'm going to get High Five. Oh my God. Now, when it came, it wasn't just one. It wasn't one character. It was not one High Five. It was 2. It was 2 High Fives. So I got the one for me, and then there was a bonus one. And I was like, okay, this is the opportunity to pay it forward. So during the whole Trap Team thing, I had met this lady at Toys R Us. I was so excited to go talk to her because she was so cool. She was so cool. She was one of the ladies that was working there. And I was always so excited to talk to her about Skylanders because she had kids and they loved Skylanders as well. Right? Well, every time I go there, I was like, I still can't get the Chaos Trap or, whatever. Right? But then, basically, she was like, yeah, my kids, they love Skylanders, all this kind of stuff. And then my mom and the lady got to talking, and then they exchanged phone numbers. And then the day came that I got high five, right? I got 2 of the high fives. And I was like, mom, oh my God. I was like, you got to call the lady from Toys R Us. You got to call her. I said, I have an extra high five. So we called the lady, we set up a day to go, and we got ice cream or it was frozen yogurt. We got frozen yogurt. I got to meet her kids, and I got to give them the high five toy, the action figure, figurine character. Because I had one, but I got 2 of them in the sweepstakes. So I was able to give that to them, and they were freaking excited, and it was so cool, because I was like, wow, I got to pay it forward. I was like, that was awesome. So that was really freaking cool. And yeah, so with those amazing memories between 4 different games, between an amazing friend from across the planet that, was able to help me out. Still, words can't explain how much that means to me. With the fact that I won that sweepstakes and I was able to pay it forward and give it to somebody else, I would definitely say that was the first game that really captured my interest in gaming and really developed my love for gaming. Skylanders. So, yeah. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions, or are we ready for the third question? All right. If we have any questions, man, you guys are more than welcome to ask them. Again, Nikki, thank you for joining us. Mama Wolf, thank you for joining us. Rise, Car Guy, Josie, Suki, Kawalo, Eternal, thank you guys very much for joining us. Appreciate you. Would I play it again? Absolutely. If I could find the portal and I could find the game, yes, absolutely. I'd play it again. I had it on Xbox 360, which I don't have my Xbox 360, but if I were to get an Xbox 360, or if it was cross-compatible with an Xbox One and I get an Xbox One, I would definitely go back and I would play it again if I could find the characters and I could find the, if I could, or just buy it again. If I could literally, I don't know if they still sell them, because I mean that was years ago. I think Trap Team came out in, I don't know, maybe 2012, maybe 2020. It was years ago that those were on the shelf, so they might not be that you might not even be able to get them anymore unless you get them on like Amazon or eBay or something. I'm not too sure, but if I could, I would go back and I'd play it again and I would relive my childhood. Yes. Okay. All right. Said it reminds you of the Mr. Beast chocolate bars. I forgot about that. Mr. Beast did have chocolate bars, huh? That's really cool. The chocolate bars, the Mr. Beast burger. That's really cool. Man. Moving into our third question. This is from a dear friend of mine by the name of Mesa. Mesa said, what game really set the standards for what you look for in a game today? I would have to say Halo 3. Halo 3 was my first, it was my first FPS. It was my first M-rated game. It was my first time ever playing a game like that. I had never, ever played a game like that before, and I was immediately hooked. I loved the main protagonist of Master Chief. I loved the story. I loved the grittiness. I loved the characters that you met along the way. I loved the tone and the pacing of it as well. It was unlike anything I had ever played before, and this was right when I was starting to get out of my, younger age kind of, area, and I was starting to kind of go into like preteen a little bit. So Halo 3, I played Halo 3 and it was amazing. It checked every single box for the story, for the characters, for the tone, and everything that I wanted in a game. And I would say because of how well developed the campaign was, how replayable it was, even though the exact same thing happens, even though, it has, the exact same story. No matter what you do, the same thing is going to happen. Even though it has that, I went back and I played Halo 3 probably 12 times, maybe more. I beat the story time and time again. I played co-op with friends, right? Or split screen. I played split screen. I did like I played that game so much. I played that game so much, man. And I just loved, because I've always loved single player games too. I love playing online. I love playing with my friends. But I always have loved a really good single player game, a really good single player story driven game. So I would say Halo 3, with the time, that it was set in, with the things that happened, with how long the campaign was, with how good the campaign felt. I would say Halo 3, being my first M-rated game, being my first FPS game, I would say it set the standard for the story that I look forward to today. That is the same kind of story I'm looking for. Grounded, well-developed characters with a great arc and just a really good pacing overall. That's what I look for now in games, right? Yes, you cannot forget Black Ops 2. That's how we met, my boy. Black Ops 2, yes, sir. You said Black Ops 2 set the tone for you. Yeah, an amazing game, man. Alrighty. But yeah, man. So I actually went back and I had played the Master Chief Collection. Now, like I said, I loved Halo 3. I've always loved Halo 3. That was my first iteration. That was my first introduction to Halo. I'd never played one before. So I played it, all this kind of stuff. And when the Master Chief Collection came out, previous to this, I had played other Halos, right? Like before Master Chief Collection came out, I had played other Halos. But when the Master Chief Collection came out, I went on a binging spree. I went on a Halo binging spree. Some of you guys that are watching the live stream right now, some of you guys were here for that. Some of you guys got to see that. But I went on a Halo binging spree across the streams when I first moved into this new house back in October of 2021. And I played Combat Evolved for the first time, played that, loved that, played Halo 2 for the first time, played Halo 3 for the 15th time. I played Reach for, I don't know, maybe the 7th or 8th time. I loved that game as well. I played Halo 4, I'm pretty sure, for the first time. I'd never played Halo 4 before. But I went back and I played all the Halos, and I just went down memory lane, and it was amazing. It was amazing. So Halo has always been a very influential game in my life, and it's always been a very great experience that I would definitely say I base my gaming standards on now for a good story and just a really good time to learn about a character, care about a character, and enjoy their story being told. I would say Halo 3 did that so well, and most of the Halo franchise as well. Most of the Halo franchise. If we don't have any questions, let's move on to the fourth one we have here. This is from my good friend Manic. Said, when did you realize gaming became a passion? I would say when I got Xbox Live. Everything that I had done up until I think right after Halo Reach, because I played Halo 3. I played a bunch of different M-rated games that we'll talk about here in a little bit. I played Halo Reach, but all of it was offline. I played all of it offline. I had never been online before, right? I had never partaken in the interwebs, right? I had never been in a party chat with anybody. I was always offline. I was playing split screen with my dad, right? So, when I got Xbox Live, it opened a whole new world to me of gaming and opportunities and possibilities to meet people. Now, a part of that, I actually met my best friend, Johnny. I've known Johnny for 9 years. I've also known Car Guy for 9 years. I met both of them on Black Ops 2. I met Johnny, my buddy Gamer Nerd. I met him in a Black Ops 2 lobby, multiplayer lobby for Plaza. We're playing on the map Plaza, and I hopped on my mic. Hey, does anybody got a mic? And he was like, yeah, I got a mic. And then we added each other, and then 9 years later, boom, we're best friends, Yeah, I met him playing multiplayer, and I met Car Guy from randomly queuing into zombies. into Black Ops 2 Zombies. We were playing on the transit map, and I queued in to play with random people. And at the time, he was known as Nemesis. But I met him, and 9 years later, we're still friends, and he's an amazing person, and I love him very much. It's crazy to think that I had all these amazing memories, and I had all of these wonderful times through gaming, right? Offline. But then the world completely opened up and changed for me when I went online. So offline, everything was amazing and all this kind of stuff, but I could have never even imagined being online, right? Until it happened. And then it happened, and I met Johnny, I met Car Guy, I met so many amazing people throughout this time, throughout this journey. And yeah, I met countless friends. I met friend groups. I had the time of my life, man. I literally had the time of my life. Those early, like pre-teen, kind of getting into teen years of playing, Black Ops 2, going back and playing Black Ops 1, playing all the zombie maps in Black Ops 1 and 2, going back and playing World of War, Call of Duty World of War, going and playing Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, meeting all the different people that I did. If I did not get online, I don't know if I didn't get online, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been led to this moment now, and I wouldn't have the friends that I do. I wouldn't have any of the memories that I do now. So gaming really became a passion when I went online. I had already loved gaming offline, and I loved the stories that were being told and the amazing times that I was having, but nothing could have prepared me for the fun and the memories that I would have and I would make when I went online. So gaming truly became a passion when I was able to share it with other people. All right. On to our fifth question here. This is from Chickadee Cat. This is from a really good friend of mine, Chickadee Cat. Our fifth question is, what is your guilty pleasure game / what game makes you tilt or rage? So guilty pleasure game would be Super Auto Pets. If you guys know about Super Auto Pets, it is a kind of like Magic the Gathering. You basically have farm animals that have a health bar, and you pit them against somebody else with other farm animals, and then you basically just attack each other. And you can put buffs with like a coconut or a banana or something on your farm animals and make them stronger, and then go fight other stronger opponents with stronger farm animals. It's called Super Auto Pets. It's really fun, and it gets very competitive. So let me tell you what, I wouldn't say it fully makes me tilt or rage, but it gets very competitive. You would not think it, because it's kind of more aimed at like a younger audience. Like it's a kid's game, right? Like it's fun. But let me tell you, when you play a couple rounds with the boys, that junk gets competitive. It's crazy. It's crazy. The cool thing is too, the game's free. And it's on Steam. I don't know if it's on any other platforms, but it's called Super Auto Pets. It's free. You can play it on Steam, and I think it's like 500 megabytes. Yeah, it's like 500. No, it's not. No, not even. I think it's like 123 megabytes. Yeah, like it's a small game, but it's really fun. I love Super Auto Pets. I would say it's kind of my guilty pleasure game, right? It's it's not something everybody plays, but I find fun in playing it, and it's also very competitive, so it kind of makes me rage a little bit. On to our sixth question, we have from a good friend also by the name, we have a good question also from a good friend, period, from Colleen. What game wowed you? And made you want to know all about it? This is a great question as well. I would say Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I would say Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The reason for this is because after I had played Halo 3, I was in. I was set. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? Like, this is so cool. I had never played a FPS game before, and you know, I'd never played a story like that before. I never anything. So I immediately searched out for more Halo games. I immediately searched for, you know, more FPS games, and I landed on Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Now, mind you, when I'm saying that I'm talking, you know, I'm talking about these games and I'm playing these games, I'm playing these games probably 5 to 6 years after they came out. So I was getting these in the $5-10 bucket at Walmart. You know what I mean? I was getting these at like the big five. Like, these games were not full price. These games were like way past their prime when I came to meet them, because I was never able to play like shooters. I was never able to play FPS games and stuff like that. My mom thought they were too graphic, and you know, with a lot of conspiracies as well, like, you know, video games make your kids violent, like all that kind of stuff that was happening and being said. My mom was like, I'm not about to take a chance on this little dude. Like, I'm not about to take a chance. So you're about to play T-rated max. That's what you got. Like, E-rated and T. That's the farthest that you go. But no. So yeah, when I finally got M-rated, because my dad, right, of course, he was the one that introduced me to M-rated games. But when I played Halo 3, it was surreal experience, and I needed more. I had to have more. So I got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, played that, loved the story so much, meeting Captain Price, playing as Soap, just loving it so much that I had to go and I had to learn the rest of the story, right? I had beat that campaign probably 10 times as well. Noticing a trend here. Every one of these campaigns I played like 5 to 10 times. But like start to finish 5 to 10 times. But yes, also, by the way, Car Guy, it's insane. It's insane. It's been 9 years, brother. Absolutely insane. It's been 9 years. Now, so I would say Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, because again, the story was amazing. The characters were amazing. It was a completely different tone. It was, you know, it was gritty. It was FPS. It was M-rated like Halo Reach, but it was completely, or not Halo Reach, Halo 3. I keep saying Halo Reach. Halo 3. It was completely, it was the same, but it was so different at the same time. And I wanted to know more about the characters. I wanted to know more about the story. So from playing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I went and I played Modern Warfare 2. I played Modern Warfare 3. I played the Spec Ops. When I did finally eventually get, you know, Xbox Live, I went and I played online a little bit, but it wasn't really my thing. I loved playing Spec Ops with my dad, or trying to get to like the highest wave that I could, you know, in the Spec Ops by myself. Like, I loved the stories and I loved the Spec Ops. A lot of this was also done offline, right? So when I came to these games, I was still playing them offline, and when I did get online, I tried it a little bit, but it wasn't really my thing at the time. But yeah, so I would say Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which then led me into Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and then we went and we played wide, crazy. We went Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, everything. We played everything, and it was freaking amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing, man. Alrighty. Do we have any questions? Are there any questions, man? All right. But yeah, man. It's been 9 years, Car Guy. Wow. It's been 9 years, Car Guy. Jeez, brother. Jeez, brother. It has been 9 years. Also, really quickly as well, man, if you guys have not already dropped a like on the podcast, or left it a heart on Spotify, if you guys are watching once this is a VOD, if you guys are watching this in the live experience, or if you guys are listening to this on Spotify, please drop it a like or leave it a heart on Spotify. I do very much appreciate it. Lets me know that you guys are enjoying these episodes, and we definitely will continue to keep these episodes going every single week. We will be doing these every single Friday on YouTube, live experience, and then on Spotify we will have them up a day to 2 days later on Spotify. All right. So if there's no questions, we're gonna move into question number 7. This is from a very good buddy of mine. You guys know him, you guys love him. Naysayer, Mr. Naysayer X, Mr. Nay. Mr. Nay said, "What drew you into gaming and kept you hooked? What made you want to continue?" Now, this is kind of I kind of will add in the Xbox Live as well, getting online. Getting online and playing with friends, right? Because like I said, that brought a whole completely different world that I had never experienced before. But I would say gaming in general, what kept me hooked was the massive worlds and the stories that there were to explore. The fact that at the time, maybe games nowadays are a little copy paste, maybe. At this point we've maybe seen everything, but at the time, which is a good thing. That's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But at the time, especially when I had come to these games, I had never experienced any of this. I never experienced any of this. So no game was the same. No game was the same to me, right? Every single game was different. Every single game was different. So there was loads of worlds and stories to explore. So I would say the stories and the worlds that I explored. I would say the friends that I met along the way from, game to game, and the fact that I was just even able to get online in general, being able to discover things solo or with a party, right? Being able to complete a Destiny raid with your boys, or being able to, split screen with your homie from down the street. You know what I mean? I didn't have that one too much, right? I know that's pretty nostalgic for a lot of gamers out there. I didn't really have that too much. I had a cul-de-sac. Like I lived in a cul-de-sac for a very short time, and then we moved off into the country, so I didn't really have like neighbors. But I did do a little bit of split screen, right? But yeah, like playing split screen with your homies, or with your dad, or with your brothers and your sisters, or playing co-op online, or again, like doing a Destiny raid, or like all that kind of stuff. If you did something solo, or if you did something with your friends, it was unlike anything else, right? So part of that as well. And again, the fact that every story felt new. Every story felt new. There was something new to always do. There was something unique about each game that I was playing. So that's also what kept me playing. The countless nights that I spent grinding as well. I was up until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I was homeschooled, so I kind of had the ability to do that. But sitting up and just playing till 2, 3, 4 in the morning with your boys and grinding out, multiplayer, or what have you, just exploring the world in Destiny, or whatever it was, right? It was the constant replayability. It was the amazing opportunities to meet people. It was the stories and the worlds that were to be explored. There was so much. There was so much to do, and again, no game felt the same, right? So I would say that's what drew me into gaming, and that's what kept me gaming, was the friends I met along the way, the friendships I still have to this day. The fact that games, for me, for the most part, there's some stinkers out there, unfortunately, but games, for the most part, have felt very fresh and unique, and the stories have been really good. The characters have been likable. The fact that you can play solo or you can play with your friends, the fact that there's just endless possibilities, I would definitely say is what kept me playing, and what's going to keep me playing, because games only keep coming out, and they keep getting and they keep getting better, and there's always new people to meet, and there's always new things to do. So I would definitely say through the experiences I've had, and the experiences that I'm going to have as well, and the experiences I'm having now, is what got me into gaming, what has kept me gaming, and what is going to keep me gaming. On to our 8th question is actually from Yahuki, the Popcat. Now, Yahuki says, what gaming achievement made you incredibly proud to obtain? When I read this question, the first thing that popped into my head was unlocking the Hammer of Soul in Destiny. Now, prior to doing this, I was a hunter. I was a hunter player. I played the hunter class from the moment I got Destiny to, until the point that I made a Titan. But I played a hunter, and I love the hunter. I was a was it Shadow Step, Shadow Stalker, the bow, the void bow, right? That's what I played. That's what I played on Destiny, right? But I'd played this for a long time and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. But then one of my buddies at the time had said, "Hey man, you should try out the Titan." And I was like, "All right, I'll give the Titan a try," right? So I played the Titan and I immediately loved the Titan more than the time that I played on the Hunter. I was like, "This is so cool. This is so fun. This is like the best thing ever," right? And I just remember seeing my buddy use the Hammer of Soul, and it was so freaking cool. It was a flaming hammer, and you would just keep throwing it at the Vex or the the Fallen or whatever, right? You would just keep throwing it, and they would explode on impact and set everything on fire. It was so cool. The Hammer of Soul was so cool. I was like, I gotta get that. I gotta get that. So I played all throughout the entire story. I got up to the level that I was able to, when you finally unlocked it. I made sure that I had the DLC that allowed you to unlock it. Taken King, yes sir. Taken King Destiny, baby, so freaking good. But then I went into the area where you were able to get it, and I got it, and I saw the cutscene, and my character just lit up in flames and pulled the hammer out, and just now I had the Hammer of Soul. And again, when I saw this question, that was the first thing that popped in my head: unlocking the Hammer of Soul. In Destiny, the original Destiny, unlocking that for the first time, it was, man, I'll never be able to experience the first time twice. You know what I mean? Like, it was so cool. It was so freaking cool to unlock it for the first time that, like, doing it every time after that, if I made a new character or something like that, was always really cool, and it was very, like, had me awestruck. But the first time that I saw that cinematic and I had it for the, I grinded all the way up to finally get it, it was the coolest thing ever. It was the coolest thing ever, man. Getting the Hammer of Soul in Destiny was a achievement that I was massively proud of. Now, yes, Mama Wolf, of course we have time. Of course. And yes, I was homeschooled, Eternal. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Car guy. I graduated in 2019. I graduated in May of 2019. Crazy. That was crazy. All right. Now, onto our. So yes, Mama Wolf. Yeah, if you have a question, absolutely. Let's hear. What was one or two of your most eagerly anticipated games? Ooh. Well, I would have to say, Black Ops 3. I would have to say Black Ops 3 because I had just got done playing Black Ops 2 for so long, and I was like, Black Ops 2 was absolutely incredible. Black Ops 2 was amazing. I made so many friends on Black Ops 2, and then Black Ops 3 came out, and they had the exosuits, and I actually felt like, maybe unpopular opinion, I felt like they did the exosuits really well. I felt like it wasn't overbearing, and it wasn't like too much or too little, but I felt like Black Ops 3 did a really good job at the exosuits. I felt like they, introduced it pretty well, and the operators that they had were fun to play as. I felt like it was a pretty well-rounded multiplayer experience, but I was so excited for, I was so excited for Black Ops 3 to release, and I actually remember that I did not stop talking about it. I did not stop talking about it, man. I was so excited for this. And every time I saw an ad, because there were so many ads, there was like a Burger King ad. It was all over drink cups and burger wrappers, and it was all over the place. Black Ops 3, it was all over the place on bus stops. It was all over the place. I wanted this game so bad. And I remember on Christmas Day, I had opened my presents, and I was of course very happy and very appreciative for the things that my family had got me, but I was a little bummed out. Because one of the things was not Black Ops 3, and I really wanted Black Ops 3. Now the thing with my mama is you need to tell her something one time and she's good. Like she will remember that forever. Like, I don't know why I thought I needed to tell my mama 7,321 times that I wanted Black Ops 3, but let me tell you what, my mama heard 7,321 times that I wanted Black Ops 3. But yeah, so basically I was, you know, I was slightly bummed out because I didn't get Black Ops 3. But then my sister's boyfriend at the time said, "Hey, my name," right? And said, "Here," and pulled out something that looked like a game case wrapped in yarn, fully wrapped in yarn. They said, "I can't have scissors, I can't have a knife. I have to untie every single one of these things," and it was wrapped. Like, it was wrapped. Like, you ever seen somebody have like a $20 bill in like a little box and then they put that in 17 other boxes and then they think that it's, you know, they just keep unboxing it and this tiny little like shoe box or like, you know, a little ring box or something that's got 20 bucks in it? That's essentially what they did to me. They wrapped this thing with an entire like spool of yarn. The entire thing, up, down, left, right, like they freaking weaved this thing like a spider. Dude, it was crazy. And they said, you can't have scissors, you can't have a knife. You have to untie each one and then pull off a layer. And I sat there for probably an hour pulling off every single one of these things after I got done untying it. And then it was Black Ops 3, and I was screaming and jumping up and down and losing my freaking mind. And I put in Black Ops 3 into my Xbox One, and I played it, and it was amazing, and the rest is history. But yeah, so yeah, man. But no, another game was actually Anthem. I was unbelievably excited for Anthem, and the same with Outriders, unfortunately, and Cyberpunk. Now Cyberpunk's amazing. You guys know I love Cyberpunk now, but there were some games that came out that I was unbelievably hyped for, and then they turned out not to deliver, which was unfortunate. But I would say the game that, again, now Cyberpunk has absolutely more than delivered. It's incredible in every single way. I love Cyberpunk 2077. But the game that I was overly excited for that did deliver was Black Ops 3. 100%. 100%. All right. Okay. All right. Now, Eternal and I both have a question. Yes, indeed. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's see. So you said, man, it's really true that public schools destroys you a little inside. I shall protect Obo at all costs. I appreciate you. Thank you, Eternal. My inspiration for gaming, this is coming from Car Guy, my inspiration for gaming came from my grandpa. Yo, I remember he bought me and my brother a Wii, and we play that nonstop, and it's the reason I still now game to remember him. Very nice, my man. Very nice. Like I said, he's you know, he's watching over you, and he's proud of you, my man. He loves you, brother. Eternal says, and that's a really cool story as well, man. To honor your grandpa, that's really cool. That's really cool. So Eternal says, so I'm not sure if someone asked this already, but I gotta ask to make sure. Looking back on game releases in young Obo days, what's your main disappointment when observing game releases now? The fact that it kind of seems like it's all about the money. The fact that it kind of seems like it's all about the money, man. The fact that publishers rush the developers and games come out, you know, half-baked and they're not ready. And it's not because the devs didn't do a good job, because oftentimes the devs pour their heart and soul into these games, but it's because these massive publishers just smack a time frame on them that's unrealistic, and then they push out the game and it's not ready, and then the developers get massive hate for it, where the publishers are just sitting there counting their ones, right? Or I should say counting their hundreds. And it's sad. It's sad. I would say something that, looking back on my, younger experiences with gaming, and then how that has, how that kind of makes me feel now, is back then, the games that I played were not rushed. They didn't feel rushed. A lot of them I didn't play day one release, right? So I can't speak to that. But a lot of the games that I played didn't feel like they were rushed. A lot of the games felt like they were, put out at the time that they were supposed to be put out. And it feels like a lot of games nowadays, 2023 has been a lot better. And there's still a lot of good games to look forward to as well. But over probably the last 5 to 6 years, it seems like a lot of games have just been jumping on a trend. Everything's been more about social media, and it's been more about money rather than putting out a good product, which is really unfortunate, because to me, growing up the way I did, gaming was never like that. Gaming was always about the story. It was always about the fun you could have with your friends. And, you know, it was never about money. Sure, the game had a price, but it was never about how much possible money could we make. No, it was about how good of a story can we make, you know? So coming from the time that I did of playing games for the first time and then how that has developed over time, I would say it's a little disappointing that games are, you know, not games, but publishers treat games as just money generators, and they don't care about the story or how it's going to affect the community. Excuse me. All right. You said to avoid any bias, what is a main improvement compared to back then? A main improvement now? A main improvement now? Or a main improvement from back then? Because I would say back then, it seemed like, yes, of course, these publishers were making money, and they were very well known for putting out good games, right? And of course, the developers got a lot of credit as well. But pre, like, internet, for the most part, pre, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of that, pre all of that, it really felt like it wasn't about having to meet a deadline. It was like, and the devs were rushed. It didn't feel like that. It felt like a game came out when a game was ready to come out, which unfortunately over the last 5 to 6 years kind of feels like that's not the case anymore, right? Boo! Why are you saying boo, Flacco? What's up, man? Trying to scare me? Say boo! Yeah, Lee, I'm scared now. My man, what's up, Flacco? It's good to see you, my dude. Let's see. Also, if no one has asked, what are your top 5 highlights / achievements in oh goodness, 5 achievements or highlights in gaming? Ooh. Well, a highlight is the fact that I played Skylanders, because if I didn't play Skylanders, I never would have had the experiences that I did. Another one would be playing Black Ops 2, because if I never played Black Ops 2, I never would have met Car Guy. I never would have met Johnny, right? So that's another one. Let me see here. Let me see. Getting into gaming in general. Getting into gaming in general. Kind of being set by example, seeing by example that my dad was playing games and I thought it was really cool. That was a highlight because, I mean, if my dad wasn't into it and I didn't have the example to see, I may have never got into it. Or maybe the way that I got into gaming would have been completely different, which would have completely changed how I am today. So, the highlight would be seeing my dad play games and being able to play games with him when I did play games with him. Playing Black Ops 2, meeting Johnny and meeting Car Guy, playing Skylanders, because without it, I would not have had the experiences I do today. Playing Fortnite, because if I never played Fortnite, because I was very skeptical. I did not want to play it. I thought it was really cheesy. I thought it was a really kiddie game. I didn't like it when it first came out. But if I never played it, I never would have met Eli, and I never would have met V-Man, and I never would have met half the people I know today, which are some of my best friends and most influential and incredible people in my life. So if I never played Fortnite, I wouldn't be me today. So that's another massive highlight, the fact that I played Fortnite. And another one, number 5, a massive highlight. A gaming highlight or achievement. The fact that I played Destiny from 1 to 2, from multiple different Xbox accounts to to PlayStation. I played from Xbox One on multiple accounts to PlayStation 4 on multiple accounts to PC. on one main account, and yeah, if I didn't play that, there's a lot of experiences I wouldn't have had, and there's a lot of things that I wouldn't even think about today. So I would say another highlight and achievement was just the amazing times that I had either by myself or with my friends playing Destiny and Fortnite and Skylanders, and seeing my dad play games. And what was the fifth one? My brain, I'm forgetting. But yeah, man. Oh, Black Ops 2. Yeah, Black Ops 2. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, main improvement to game releases now compared to how they were released back then in your experience. What is an improvement to gaming now? I would say an improvement to gaming now is the fact that I feel like devs are starting to clap back a little bit. Gaming communities are starting to clap back a little bit as well, especially with the internet being out, and you could say anything. You could post a tweet or Instagram or anything within a second. And, the fact that a lot of people are getting tired of microtransactions, the fact that a lot of people are getting tired of battle passes, and the fact that gaming just really went through a massive up and down of just paying for stuff, constantly having to pay for something, and the fact that the game didn't even feel good, and the fact that the game was rushed and it didn't even feel like it had the heart that it used to. I would say an improvement from then to now is the fact that it kind of feels like we're getting back to how it was back then. It feels like devs are actually having the time again to finish their games without publishers being on top of them, hounding them to get the game done by an unrealistic release date or, something like that, which does still happen. Of course that still happens, but it kind of feels like some of the games that I've had my eye on, for the most part, they kind of looks like they're going back to the roots, and they're actually getting the time to work on the games. And it kind of feels like developers are, or not developers, but publishers are backing off a little bit and like, okay, all right, do your thing, create a good game. All right, well, it kind of feels like we're getting back to that for the most part. All right. When Fortnite came out, no one wanted to play with me because they said it was lame, and now it's literally one of the top games. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Did you remember those dudes back then that tried to recruit us to a gaming clan, and I accidentally hit a 360 no scope? Yes, I do remember that. I also do remember the dude that had our gamer tags, on repeat, and he would be like, Oborrok sucks, or something like that, I remember that dude that had our gamer tags on repeat, and if we like died or something, he'd be like, Oborrok sucks, Yeah, I remember that. Alrighty, man. On to our 9th question. This is from Sydney. Has gaming influenced who you are today? Absolutely. Absolutely. Gaming has influenced who I am today. I was going to do architecture. I was going to be an architect, or I was going to do like something in the art field, painting or I don't know, drawing at some kind of level, right? I wanted to either be an architect, and I wanted to like, or something in like construction, possibly, right? There was a time I wanted to be a firefighter as well. But I was either going to do that, or I was, I was going to, there was a time where if I didn't game, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I would absolutely say yes. Gaming influenced who I am today. And, of course, in a million ways, because if I never gamed, I never would have met, the amazing people that I have in my life today. I never would have had the friends that I have today. The wolf pack never would have been made. And I don't want to live in reality where that's a thing, because creating the wolf pack and, the times that we've had, the incredible moments we've had, the incredible memories we've created the friends we've made, and everything that has happened over these last 5 years, it's unlike anything else. So if I never gamed, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I don't want to see that. So yes, gaming influenced my entire life, because without it, I would not be who I am. Our 10th question is from my good buddy Viking. My good buddy Viking said, what game always keeps you coming back regardless of how long you go without playing it? Fortnite. 100% Fortnite, man. I've been playing Fortnite for over 5 years. I've been playing Fortnite since Chapter 1, Season 3, okay? And I played Season 3, Season 4, Season 5. I took a break for Season 6, but I played a little bit of Season 6. I took a break in Season 7, but I played a little bit of Season 7. I took a break in Season 8, but I played a little bit of that. I grinded Season 9 and 10 like crazy. Did they do Season 11, or did they just go straight to Chapter 2? I can't remember. Whatever the situation was, that Chapter 2 I played a little bit, but it wasn't really my thing. Then they went into Season 2. I didn't really play. Season 3, I played a lot more. Season 4, I didn't play. Season 5 and 6, I don't really remember playing too much, but 7 and 8, chapters 7 and 8, I played like crazy. When chapter 3 came out, I played the first 4 seasons like crazy, and then the last 3, I want to say the last 3, and then chapter 4, I've played every single season. So, again, without Fortnite, I wouldn't have met Eli. Without Fortnite, I would not have met V-Man. I would not have met a lot of people. I would not have met a lot of people. I would not have met a lot of people without Fortnite, and I would not have the amazing moments and the incredible stories to tell today without Fortnite. So Fortnite has been a game over the course of the last 5 years that if I don't play it for 2 months, or if I don't play it for 6 months, or if I don't play it for a week, I can always come back to it, and there's always somebody to play with, and there's always a mode we can play, or something we can, an amazing time we can have. You know what I mean? Mama Wolf, those questions are more content creation. So this is just gaming. The highlights are just gaming. Those are more content creation, and the opportunities that presented themselves through content creation. So I will absolutely answer those, and yes, those are massive highlights for content creation. But this is just gaming. This is just me growing up in gaming. Ooh. All right. But I would definitely say Fortnite, man. Every single season is incredibly fun. There's massive modes that you can play. There is a bunch of different stuff. Man. There's a bunch of different modes you can play. Now they have zero build. They're on chapter 30 or so, or not chapter 30, like season 30. Like, the game's been around for a very long time. They've had massive collaborations, and no matter how long I am like away from the game, how long it's been since I played the game, I can always come back, and it always feels just fun. You know, it always just feels fun if I'm playing by myself, or if I'm playing, with Royal. Hi, Royal. By the way, hi, Royal. What's up, my dude? Yo, Carmel Yas, my man. What's going on? If I'm playing with Flacco or Johnny or Car Guy, Eternal, Royal, Nikki, Josie, anybody, right? If I'm playing with anybody, it's always fun. If I'm playing by myself, it's fun. If I'm playing, with people, it's fun. If I'm away from the game for a little bit, I look forward to coming back. Fortnite has just always been a really, really influential game for me. Always. Well, he hasn't. So, Car Guy, Johnny hasn't played a whole lot of Fortnite. I'm not sure if he's been doing much gaming in general over the period of time. But yes, we do play Fortnite from time to time. Yes, yeah. Zero build made it fun for me. Yeah. The community is number one. Absolutely, my wolf. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. Alrighty. Our 11th question, if there's no other questions, our 11th question, let me see, hold on. He said like GTA 6? Yes, Flacco. Yes. Fortnite was lame. Said their marketing, though, was always top tier. And they're always first to innovate. Yes. I think the most innovation I've ever seen in any game has been Fortnite. I think so. Yeah, I think so. The real gift of gaming was the friends we made along the way. Yes, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely, man. Absolutely. Being able to experience the stories with people, right? Being able to experience the stories with them, being able to just make the friends in general and have the amazing times with them, look forward to being able to play with them and being able to kind of escape the world for a little bit and, you know, just play something fun with your friends. Again, if you played alone or if you played with friends, if you met new friends or if you played with the same group for, you know, years to come, right? Gaming has always been about the friendships that you make, you know? So in fact, Eternal says, in fact, I'll change it to tolerable. The lack of builds made for tolerable. The people I play with make it fun. That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Our 11th question is from my buddy Eli, my good buddy here. Said, what game made you want to play it so much? I will say Paragon. Paragon was unlike any game I had ever played before because I had never played a MOBA. I had never played a MOBA before, and Paragon had some of the coolest character designs I'd ever seen in any game. Had the coolest character designs, some of the coolest abilities I had ever seen. Again, it was my first MOBA. It was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. They fully worked Unreal Engine 4 to make it look out of this world, just unreal. They made it look so freaking good, dude. Like, they made it look so freaking good. But yeah, I would also the friends that I met Obliminal, still friends today. Love Obliminal. I met Reggie, still friends today. Nightmare, still friends today. Love Reggie. I met oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her name. No, I'm forgetting her name, but there's another friend that I met. Absolutely love her. She's a sweetheart. I met Unique as well. Absolute sweetheart as well. I met Freeze. Still talk to this day. Amazing person. Just great dude. Without Paragon, I never would have experienced a MOBA. I never would have experienced how to play a MOBA properly because I never actually played it properly. For a very long time, I didn't actually know how to play. I just like ran down the lane and died, and I was like, oh, this is fun. But I never would have experienced Chimera either. Chimera is, I think, my favorite gaming character, like, ever. I think Chimera is the coolest gaming character I've ever met, right? Like, I think he's the coolest freaking character, and I want to know more about him. There's not a whole lot of lore. It's kind of up to interpretation for, you know, for his lore, but if somehow lore is ever written about him, you know what I mean? You know, because I definitely love the character. But yeah, man. But yeah, I would definitely say Paragon because I also met Styles. I also met my buddy Styles, man. Without Paragon, I never would have played a MOBA. I never would have, like, intrigued me to play a MOBA. I never would have experienced Chimera. Chimera is a character I want to get a tattoo of. I'm that invested with the character. I love the character so much. But yeah, without Paragon, I never would have met Styles or Unique, Obliminal. I never would have met a lot of the friends that I have today. I wouldn't have experienced a MOBA. I wouldn't have, you know, got to know Chimera, the coolest character I've ever seen in any game. Yeah, so I would say, yeah, and plus I wouldn't have had the times that I played until 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just playing constantly nonstop because it was so fun. Was Paragon. So yeah. Our 12th question is from also, so real quick, but also the replay value. The replay value of Paragon was amazing because they changed the map a little bit. They updated the map a little bit, so you know, it wasn't the same. They did nice, cool little events where they like did seasonal events where they would change the map a little bit based off the season. They would add seasonal character skins as well. Also, every single match wasn't the same because you never faced the same people. You always faced somebody different in the off lane or you know the jungle, or it was always something a little bit different, which was always really, really fun. It was always really, really fun. Now, so our 12th question is from Nikki. Nikki said, if you had one complaint for devs, what would it be? And then, so this is a two-parter. So if you had one complaint for devs, and then pick one of these as well. So my one complaint to devs would be don't, well, and not even a complaint, more kind of advice, if possible. Don't let publishers push you around. If you have the ability to, don't let publishers push you around. There's no amount of money that is worth throwing away the story that you have to tell the world, right? The world that you created through the game and the characters that people love, right? People that played your previous games or what have you, absolutely love. There's no amount of money that's worth throwing that away, right? And getting people to not like it because it's not finished or it's not ready or just because whatever the situation is. I would say don't rush the process, and if you can, don't let the publishers push you around, because there's a lot of devs out there that you can truly tell, you can feel their care and their love and their passion for the games that they're creating. And I want to see more of that. I really want to see more of that. I want to see the stories that these devs have to tell. And I want to see them fully come to fruition, but they need to have the time to do it. So I would say, just don't know your worth and know that you have something truly good. Don't let a publisher take that away from you if you can help it. I know a lot of publishers, not naming any, but I know a lot of publishers kind of ruin that a little bit. But don't just stay true to yourself and enjoy creating the game that you're passionate about, and giving the story to the world. You know what I mean? Because gamers really appreciate it when they can tell how much the developers care about the game. They really do. I do. I have so many memorable, I have so many memories, I have so many stories to tell about games that I love and that I grew up with, and that's why we're doing this episode, right? And it's because developers care. It's because there's a lot of developers that care. So don't stop that, please. Also, another thing was, would you choose a game with a defined ending, or would you play a game? Would you prefer a game with a defined ending, or something that the player can choose? And I would say the player. I've played a lot of games. I played a lot of games that the player is able to determine the ending, and I've played a lot of games where it is a defined ending. You can't change it. No matter how you play the game, no matter anything like that, the ending is still going to happen the exact same way it does. I played a lot of those, and I've also played some other games like Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 that allow you to have different endings, right? They allow you to have different endings and do things the way you want, because they're making you feel like you are Geralt. They're making you feel like you are V, right? So I would definitely say that through all of the predetermined endings that I've played, and I would say through all of the stories that I've played that allow you to create the ending, essentially, I would definitely say I prefer feeling like the character and being able to make the ending for myself. You know what I mean? I would definitely say that I like that. But so that is 12 questions, man. We just got 12 questions. We had those written down. Mama Wolf, Eternal, Nikki, everybody for the live questions. Thank you guys very much for the live questions. Thank you guys very much for the questions we wrote down from Sydney, from Eli, from Colleen and Chickadee, Viking, Nay, everybody that gave me a question that I was able to write down. Thank you very much. And to everybody that gave me a question to answer live, again, Eternal, Mama Wolf, thank you guys very much. Thank you guys very, very much for the questions live. I do massively appreciate that. Now, Um, let's see here. Said, knowing what you know now, would you change anything? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. I am a firm believer in we got here for a reason. You know what I mean? The way we are today we got here for a reason. You know what I mean? And I don't want to screw up the timeline. You know, I definitely don't want to screw up the timeline. I'm happy with the way my life turned out. I'm really, really happy with the way my life turned out, man. Things could have been a million ways different, right? They could have changed for the better, for the worse, right? It kind of just depends on how you look at it. But I'm really happy path that I took. I'm really happy that I picked up a controller. I'm really happy that I had a dad that, you know, if he wasn't able to give me anything else, he was able to kick me in the direction of gaming. And I'm happy that I at least had that example that, you know, if nothing else, I at least had that example to keep gaming going and to experience all these amazing things and meet all you amazing, wonderful people. Because without that example, I may never have gamed. And I maybe I would have gamed, but it would have been completely different, and maybe I wouldn't have liked it, or maybe I definitely wouldn't have met you guys. If things did not happen exactly how they happened, I would not be here right now talking to you. So, with everything that I know, would I change anything? No, I would not. I am incredibly grateful and thankful for how I am and who I am, how I got here, and the people I met along the way. I would not change a thing. Mama Wolf, please be safe. Please be safe. I really hope, I really hope your shift goes well. Please be safe, Mama Wolf. And also, you said you're in Chicago, Garmalyas. My goodness. Yo, have a wonderful rest of your night. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Be safe, take care, and enjoy Chicago, my man. I appreciate you massively. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much, man. Yo. All right. I love you too, Mama Wolf. I love you. Appreciate you. Yo, again, man, Nikki, Mama Wolf, Gamal Yas, Eternal, Car Guy, Royal, Flocko, Josie, Rise, Suki, Kawalo, thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you guys very much for again, thank you guys very much for all of the questions, the wonderful questions, man. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you for being here, a part of the live experience, or if you guys are watching this once it is a VOD, or if you guys are listening to this once it is on Spotify. Either way, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to this, or to hear this, or, you know, to watch this, however it may be. I appreciate you, and I thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, man. And I'm really happy. I'm really happy, man. I'm really happy that I met all of you guys, and I'm really happy the way things turned out. You know, I'm really happy the way things turned out. Also, you said Mama Wolf said if someone wanted to start a gaming streaming, if somebody wanted to start gaming streaming, what advice would you give them? So I'll answer the gaming part of that, because I want to answer more stream related questions in a stream and content creation related episode in the future. But I'll answer the gaming part of that. If you want to start something like that, if you know, if it is gaming, if it is streaming, if it's just streaming, if it's not gaming, if anything like that, do what you love, man. Do what you love, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Because you want to know what? At the end of the day, your happiness comes first, right? If you like gaming, if you like streaming, if you like creating videos, if you do something that is fun, as long as you're not hurting yourself, as long as you're not hurting others, as long as you are having fun and you are enjoying the process, do it. Have fun. Enjoy it. You know, don't let anybody take you down and tell you what you're doing is nerdy, or what you're doing is don't listen to any of that, because it's not. You are unique, and you are loved, and you are appreciated. And when you create and you put that out into the world, people that also love and appreciate what people create, they'll find you. They'll find you, and you may deal with a lot of people that hate you. You may deal with a lot of people that don't like you, but you will find the people that like you and love you and appreciate you for what you create. So it's going to be a little bit of a tough road, and you're going to face, some tragedies, but keep going. and have fun. Enjoy the process is the advice I would say, man. Nikki says, it's been an honor to know you. You speak with such optimism. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor. I massively appreciate you as well, Miss Nikki. Viking, thank you for joining us, sir. Hello. Hi, Viking. Eternal says, I'm pretty sure this was brought up at least once, but what upcoming games are you hyped for? Oh, actually, we did not talk about that yet. We didn't talk about that today, but I would say I am really excited for Chrono Odyssey. Chrono Odyssey looks fun. It looks fun. It looks good. I'm really, really, really excited for Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty, that DLC. I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for the first Descendant final beta and going into full launch later this year. So we got the first Descendant. I don't know if Chrono Odyssey is doing a final test or what I don't know what they're doing. If they have any kind of test, I have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing. But I mean, if I get to play it at some point, that's going to be fun. So yeah, that's going to be fun. If I do get to play it at some point, Chrono Odyssey is going to be a lot of fun. The first Descendant, we get to play that next month. Season 1 of Diablo 4 is going to be fun. We get to play that in like 13 days. So we got Diablo 4 Season 1. We got the first Descendant next month. We got Chrono Odyssey at some point. We have Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty. We have that. What do you call it? We have that in September as well. So yeah, a lot of really good things to look forward to. I'm excited. I'm really excited, man. Alrighty. Let me see here. Haster says he loves you, FYI. I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you too, Haster. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. Yo, take care of Mr. Viking. I know you will. I know you will, man. Eternal says, really no one asked and none of your questions involve that? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Thank you very much for asking that. I appreciate that. Let me see. The Eternal says, okay, time to rattle off some upcoming ones, and you tell me how the reception of their respective player base would go. Counter-Strike 2. I know there's a lot of people that grew up with Counter-Strike, and I know there's a lot of people that would love it. I know that they're changing a lot of stuff, and they're updating a lot of stuff. They're making it a lot, better in a variety of ways. So I would imagine the player base would, once the player base is able to get their hands on it, they're going to enjoy it and have fun. And, I would imagine so. Maybe for some of the CS community, it's their first CS. Maybe they didn't play, CS at all, or maybe they didn't play it in its prime, and this is the first time they get to play something in its prime. You never know. You never know. So I think Counter-Strike 2 will do very well. I think Arc 2 will do very well also. I don't know. I mean, because I've heard there's a lot of different stuff with the story, and there's a lot of different, behind the scenes stuff. But I know that a lot of people love Arc, and it's, been fun, and it's had a massive player base for a decade now, maybe a little longer. I'm not entirely sure, but I know a lot of people are excited for Arc 2. I also know there's a lot of people that are curious to see how they go about it. So we shall see. We shall see. But I feel like as long as the devs do it well, the community will love it. Also, Remnant 2. I am actually excited for Remnant 2. I don't know if I'm going to get it immediately, but I am excited for Remnant 2. I loved the first Remnant. I know Nene is probably going to scoop it. He's probably going to get it and have fun and love it. I know Mr. Magneto is going to play it. He said he's going to put 4,000 hours into it like he did the first game because he loves Remnant so much, and he's really excited for it. So if there's anybody else like that, I would imagine Remnant 2 is going to do very, very well. Also, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I know that a lot of people are excited for Assassin's Creed Mirage. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game, but I know a lot of people. They love Assassin's Creed games. I know that a lot of people love those games, and I know that a lot of people love those games. And I know that, as long as it goes in the right direction and it stays faithful to how the community knows those games are created, then it'll also do very well. Eternal Viking says he is taking care of us for sure. Love that. Mortal Kombat 1, again, massive player base, been around since what, like 1997, 98, something like that. Been around for a very long time, massive player base. You know, the changes and the updates and the things that they've done have, you know, a lot of people have loved them. You know, later Mortal Kombats have been the first Mortal Kombat for some gamers, and they've gone and they've played the originals or you know, different stuff like that. So I think that's another great game people are looking forward to. Yeah, those are some great games. Thank you very much for that. But that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching PAWCAST episode 2. I appreciate you massively. Thank you for watching. If you guys watched it live, thank you very much. If you guys are watching it once it is a VOD, if you guys are listening to it on Spotify, either way, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you massively. Thank you very much. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much for being here. Again, if you guys haven't already done so, please drop a like or leave a heart on Spotify. It does help out massively. And I do very much appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, sleep well, be easy, be safe, and have a great weekend too. Thank you guys very much for your time. You guys are wonderful. You guys are amazing. And I'm looking forward to doing these podcast episodes with you each week. Thank you very much and have a great rest of your week. I love you, Wolfpack.